Madame Donut, and I own Donut Dynamite with my husband. We opened our store about 7 months ago in the town of Wailuku. I was born and raised in the Philippines. My mom have always been quite good at figuring out what our strengths were. My sister was very good at organizing the house, so she cleaned, and my brother worked the farm, and I ended up in the kitchen. I went to the Culinary Institute of America in St. Helena, and I think it was worth it. I had a great education, great connections, and that's actually where I met my husband, who is also my partner in Donut Dynamite. Many years later, I became a pastry chef. Somehow, I would always sneak in a donut on the pastry menu in every place that I worked at. I can speak through donuts. Like, I express myself through donuts. I think donuts are very humble, and also found it to be challenging, changing people's minds about donuts. Because when I tell people I wanted to make donuts, they're like, really? You're a CIA educated pastry chef, you want to make donuts for a living? And I say, yeah, because I'm gonna change the world through donuts. I wanted to change people's view of something that could be so simple and humble and not usually regarded as something regal. When I decided to start a donut business, I thought, we'll make brioche style donuts. Brioche is pretty much in the same family as croissants, which was my first baking project. It has a lot more eggs and butter than any other dough out there. It's also probably one of the more complicated doughs to make, just because you can't just add everything, mix it all together, and step away. It's really an emulsion, if you think about it. You emulsify the butter really well. If you don't, you end up with a really greasy product that tears apart. It's complicated in a way because butter will cut through the gluten that you normally would develop when you're making dough. That challenge of making the donut amazingly flavored and better texture than most donuts that you get out there, and make it elevated to the type of food you would get at a high-end restaurant. Every day I make dough. Our doughs take about 6 to 8 hours minimum for the initial fermentation. So I mix the dough and then basically let it sit in the refrigerator in a cool room for about 6 to 8 hours to let the butter set. The mixing of one type of dough alone takes almost an hour, anywhere between 40 to 50 minutes. Meanwhile, while that's going on, we have all sorts of other projects like the toppings and such. We make all the glazes in-house. If we use some type of a fruit glaze, we use real fruit. So that may mean during the washing, the cleaning, the preparation of the fruit. For example, we have strawberry rose donuts. So we take local strawberries from Kula, we puree that, and we don't even cook it, so you have that fresh strawberry flavor. Little things like that, like we make our own handmade sprinkles. That alone takes time, me being on the stove, basically crystallizing sugar to make miniature candies. My work day really is from about midnight to 6 or 9 p.m.